What's going on, y'all? It is Thursday around lunchtime, and I've just been getting tossed so many, um, almost like these things that aren't necessarily a bad thing, but these scenarios and situations in conversing with people that I know, acquaintances, in almost spotlighting that I could be on the wrong path in building something for myself. I feel like I'm being tested right now by God, the universe, the higher powers, and I'll give you context. So, early this morning, I took my car in to get an alignment. I just got back from this awesome car cruise with a Porsche club up in the hills here in Texas. But the vehicle, I have a sports car, it's slightly pulling and there's some vibration. Pull up to the alignment shop, and right next to the alignment shop, there's a Ferrari dealership. One of, I think, the only Ferrari dealership here in the city I'm in Texas. And I walked in. I told a girl up front. They offered me, "Would you like something to drink?" Blah blah blah. I've never been to a Ferrari dealership, and it was like offer me all the bells and whistles, and they're like, "Would you like something to drink? Here's the lounge. Let us know if you need anything. I'll get the GM for you." I had walked in there to inquire about a sales role, potentially selling Ferraris, just for shits and giggles to see what their process is like. The general manager comes out, East Coast guy, very direct to the point. He's from Boston. I've dealt with people from Boston before. They're some of my favorite people because I can be a little direct at times as well, and I respect it. So we get started talking. He tells me there's like a duration and where you got to be selling Porsches, Mercedes, those types of dealerships below Ferrari for almost a decade before Ferrari would even consider hiring you as a sales rep. So we get to talking and we start to get a little bit personal. I told him of my situation in basically going all in on real estate. And he immediately is like, oh, that's dumb. That's stupid. You don't want to do that right now. And I point this out because all week long, I have been getting thrown so much in terms of discouragement, whether direct or indirect, scenario based, from people's mouths, that getting into selling real estate right now is stupid, right? And I'm one of those people. The best time to start doing something that you want to do passionately and that you know in your bone that you will absolutely crush based on your skill set and all the things you bring to the table. I know in my soul that I will absolutely dominate and crush and be successful in this next endeavor of real estate. But him and I were going back and forth on interest rates and all this stuff, and at the end I was like, well, would you encourage someone to go into real estate when everyone and their mom is trying to get in to sell real estate? Because then the market's going to be saturated with agents. And he didn't really have a rebuttal. And so I say this to say, y'all, on retention, I've been feeling it could be retention related, like all this energy. I'm like beyond 30 days. I've lost count what day I'm on. But you will be tested and you will be tried. And then I get home, just got back from walking the dog, and a buddy of mine who lives out in Florida, he's probably watching this. He texts me, "Hey man, I closed a 19K commission check. Software sales is good," which I was a part of. Tech sales, tech coaching, tech leadership. I've done that like the last 5 to 10 years. And I congratulated him first, but I think there's some implication on his part in almost like saying you need to get back into software sales because look at, I just closed a deal and I get 19K commission from one deal, which is a pretty decent chunk of change, right? Not the biggest, not the smallest. I've seen some commission checks where people are pulling like 60, 70, six-figure commission checks on one deal, right? But 20 grand is 20 grand, a good chunk of change. So I congratulated him, and I'm bringing that up because I feel like that's also a test of the universe, God, trying to test me to see if I'm going to deviate from the path that I am hell-bent on succeeding at. And I'm not going to lie, y'all, it's been trying this past week, you know, in the sense that there's always scenarios and situations and people, whether they had good intentions or not, where it's trying me and testing me right now. And I still feel in my bones, you know, with whatever market situations or whatever, I will find a way to succeed in this next endeavor. I've sacrificed too much. I've rejected not many, but I've rejected at least a dozen jobs, healthy six-figure jobs, some of them, not all of them, to stay on track and pursue becoming an agent and potentially investor when I get rolling and I can learn about the industry and properties and how things and mechanics work, finding good deals, finding off-market listings for not only for me, but for my network of friends and family to tap in and purchase property that we can capitalize on in the future monetarily. Like, I have a whole vision in my mind and I'm staying locked in. I feel a fire pumping through me. And I know if I was not on retention and eating well, fasting, I have another buddy back in California. Him and I do these fasts. We just did 2 separate 3-day fasts over the last 3 weeks, which I think is fucking awesome. Stacked with retention when you're fasting prolonged 3 days, 4 days and beyond. Amazing energy and results and mental horsepower when you do these two things. So I'm just making this video. None of this, I just literally turn on the phone because I'm feeling it right now. And it's hard to explain. Sometimes you feel alone when no one believes in what you want to build. And it's all on you. It's all on me. If you have a dream or goal, you're trying to build a YouTube channel, you're trying to open up a restaurant, you're trying to, you know, build an app that you feel could, you know, be successful in a certain industry or certain professionals, whatever the case may be, I've heard it all. If you have that, the point of me making this video is to remind y'all the importance of retaining your energy and the fact that you will be tested on this path. So let me take a breather here for a sec. So if you're on this path with me in your own life, I feel you. And I know what you're going through. This is me making a video to encourage you to stay on the path. You're gonna be tested. A way to overcome potential doubt is to remember the why and to remember how good you are and to remember that you have this spiritual, magnetic, burning fire and energy inside of you, if you retain it, along with the support of God Almighty, right? Along with the support of the universe, along with the support of the higher powers. I'm not sure what y'all's religion are, but I'm Christian. And I know, it's not I think, I fucking know, with retention at my back and God's guidance and protection and my own intuition, that this will not fail and the test will keep coming, and I am ready to take on all of these tests that God, the universe, the devil, whatever, will be throwing my way. So I'm just making this to remind y'all, be well.